Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. On this occasion, I will present my research proposal entitled The Influence of Self-Efficacy and Subjective Norms on Entrepreneurial Intention. Previously, my name was Nazar M Fadlullah. I am student in Business Education 2017 at the Faculty of Economics, Jakarta State University. Indonesia is one of the most populous countries in the world. Based on the Worldometers report, Indonesia ranks fourth with the largest population in the world after China, India, and the United States. According to data from the Central Statistics Agency, the total population in Indonesia in 2020 is 270.20 million. This number has increased by around 32.55 million people compared to the result of the population census in 2010, or if the average population growth in Indonesia has increased by 3.26 million people each year. One of the problems that can occur as a result of an increase in population is employment. This can occur due to an imbalance between the number of workers and the available employment opportunities. According to the Central Statistics Agency, the number of unemployed people in Indonesia is 9.77 million people. This number increased by 1.84% from the previous years. This shows that there is still a lack of jobs and job opportunities for all prospective workers in Indonesia, coupled with the current pandemic, which make it increasingly difficult for the workforce to find jobs. Reporting from the liputan6.com page, the entrepreneurial ratio in Indonesia has only reached 3.47% on the total population. This figure is classified as low because, according to some experts, a country is said to be developed if the ratio of entrepreneurs in that country has reached between 10 till 14% of the total population. The low interest in entrepreneurship in Indonesia is also shown in the 2018 Global Entrepreneurship Index data, which shows that the Indonesian state is ranked 94 out of 137 countries in the world in the terms of entrepreneurship. This data indicate that entrepreneurial intention in Indonesia is still low. Therefore, the need for awareness from the community today to be able to think about starting entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship can be an alternative in overcoming the increasing unemployment problem in Indonesia. By doing entrepreneurship, it will create new jobs that can accommodate the workforce who are looking for work and will create the growth of the Indonesian national economy. This is proven by the fact that one of the driving factors for Indonesia's national economy is the existence of MSMEs, where according to data from the Ministry of Finance, UMKM atau MSMEs is able to absorb a workforce of 117 million workers and has a major contribution to improve the country's economy. Previously, researchers had conducted a preliminary survey regarding the various obstacles faced when starting a business. The research was conducted using Google Form to 52 respondents who live around the Jabodetabek area. The results can be seen in the following diagram. Of the 52 respondents, 53.8% answered that they did not have sufficient capital to start a business. Then, as many as 28.8% of people answered that they were afraid to take a risk. As many as 15.4% of people answered that they did not have sufficient knowledge in entrepreneurship, and the rest answered that there was not support from their close-up people for entrepreneurship. This data shows that most people do not have the courage to start a business because they think that starting a business requires a large amount of capital and they do not have a courage to take risks. This is related to their lack of confidence in their ability to start a business and the lack of support from those closest to them, so they don't dare to take risks. There are two factors that affect a person's entrepreneurial spirit, namely internal and external factors. Internal factors are factors that come from within a person in the form of personal traits, attitudes, and individual personal will. Meanwhile, external factors are those that come from outside a person's person, such as the surrounding environment, business environment, physical environment, social environment, and others. Previously, researchers had conducted a preliminary survey regarding the interest in entrepreneurship in people living in the Jabodetabek area. The research was conducted using Google Form to 52 respondents about what factors influence a person's interest in entrepreneurship, and the result can be seen from the following diagram. Based on this data, it can be seen that there are several factors that influence a person's interest in entrepreneurship. Of the 52 respondents, as many as 38% of people answered that they had encouragement from those closest to them. Furthermore, 30.8% of people answered that they have entrepreneurial skill. Then, 25 of people answered that they had sufficient knowledge about entrepreneurship. There are still many other factors that influence people's entrepreneurial interest, but these three things are the most dominant among the others. Based on the survey result, there are two dominant factors which indicate that the factors that influence a person's interest in entrepreneurship are self-efficacy and subjective norms. It is known that 38% of people answered that there was encouragement from their closest people as a factor that made them have an interest in entrepreneurship. This shows that the existence of subjective norms can affect a person's interest in entrepreneurship. Subjective norms are defined as a perceived acceptance of the existence of social support for a behavior, are also known as perceived behavior control. Then, based on the survey result, the second factor that affects a person's interest in entrepreneurship is having the ability to be entrepreneurial. This shows that the existence of self-efficacy or a person's confidence in their ability can affect a person's interest in entrepreneurship. Self-efficacy is a person's assessment of his or her own ability to carry out a behavior to achieve certain goals. Based on the background described above, the research questions in this study are: Is there a positive and significant influence between self-efficacy on entrepreneurial intention in the Jabodetabek community? And second, is there a positive and significant influence between subjective norms on entrepreneurial intention in the Jabodetabek community? Based on the research question above, the objectives to be achieved in this study are: first, to find out whether there is a positive and significant influence between self-efficacy on entrepreneurial intention in the Jabodetabek community, and second, to find out whether there is a positive and significant influence between subjective norms on entrepreneurial interest in the Jabodetabek community. This research is expected to be useful for: first, for university, as scientific reading material for student reference, or in addition, the result of this study can also be used as reference material for other researchers who will research on similar topics. 2. For students, as a reference material for students who are conducting research with similar topics, both in terms of writing, content, or other things written in this research. 3. For researchers, as learning material for researchers about what factors can influence a person in entrepreneurship. And with this research, it is also hoped that it can add to the insight of researchers by knowing the facts that occur in the field directly. And 4, for public, As one source of information about the factors that can influence interest in entrepreneurship, it is hoped that it can foster community motivation to entrepreneurship. Chapter 2 is literature review. First, supporting theory of self-efficacy. Self-efficacy has the meaning of a person's assessment of his or her own ability to carry out a behavior to achieve certain goals. Jatisunda 2017. Indicator used to measure self-efficacy are to start and run business. It's easy for me. I'm ready to start a viable business. I have control in running my business as an entrepreneur. I know that it takes to start a business. I know how to build a business, and I will success if I try to start a business. And the second one is supporting theory of subjective norms. According to Vernier 2018, subjective norms are individual perceptions related to the views of those closest to them to do or not to do certain behaviors. And indicators used to measure subjective norms are my closest family think that I should be an entrepreneur, my closest friend think that I should be an entrepreneur, the most important person for me thinks that I should be an entrepreneur, the role of entrepreneurs in the economy is generally respected in my country, the culture in my country is very supportive of entrepreneurial activities. And the third one is supporting theory of entrepreneurial intention. According to Thompson 2009 and Lee Ross 2017, entrepreneurial intention is conscious belief in a person that they have the intention to start a business and will make it happen. Indicators used to measure entrepreneur intention are: I'm ready to do anything to start my own business. My professional goal is to start my own business. I will do my best to start and run my own company. I am determined to make a business in the future and etc. Next is relevant research result. Jiang et al. 2017 with the title Research on the Mechanism of Entrepreneur Education Quality, Entrepreneurial Self-Efficacy, and Entrepreneurial Intention in Social Science, Engineering, and Science Education. The result of the study indicate that self-efficacy has a positive and significant effect on the entrepreneurial intention. Second, Muftuah and Bambang 2017 with the title Pengaruh efikasi diri, lingkungan keluarga, dan pengetahuan kewirausahaan terhadap minat berwirausaha. And the result of this study indicate that self-efficacy has positive and significant effect on entrepreneurial intention. Next, May et al. 2015 with the title Planned Behavior of Tourism Student Entrepreneurial Intention in China, and the result of this study indicate that subjective norms has a positive and significant effect on entrepreneurial intention. And next, Liu et al. 2019 with the title is Research on the Effects of Entrepreneurial Education and Entrepreneurial Self-Efficacy on College Student Entrepreneurial Intention. And the result of the study indicate that self-efficacy have a positive and significant effect on entrepreneurial intention. Santi et al. 2017 with the title Pengaruh Efikasi Diri, Norma Subjektif, Sikap Berperilaku, dan Pendidikan Kewirausahaan terhadap Intensi Berwirausaha. And the result of the study indicate that self-efficacy and subjective norm has a positive and significant effect on entrepreneurial intention. Next one is Shah et al. 2020 with the title The Moderating Role of Entrepreneurship Education in Shaping Entrepreneurial Intention, and the result of this study indicate that self-efficacy and subjective norms has a positive and significant effect on entrepreneurial intention. Next, Lee Ross 2017 with the title An Examination of the Entrepreneurial Intention of MBA student in Australia using the Entrepreneurial Intention Questionnaire. And the result of the study indicate that subjective norms do not have a positive and significant effect on entrepreneurial intention. And Alshamari 2018 with the title Entrepreneurial Intention of Private University Student in the Kingdom of Bahrain. And the result of this study indicate that subjective norms have a moderate significant positive effect on entrepreneurial intention. Light is theoretical framework in self-efficacy to entrepreneurial intention. Jiang et al. 2017 state that self-efficacy has positive and significant effect on entrepreneurial intention. Maftuah and Bambang 2017 state that self-efficacy has a positive and significant effect on entrepreneurial intention. Next, Liu et al. 2019 state that self-efficacy has a positive and significant effect on entrepreneurial intention. And last one is Santi et al. 2017 state that self-efficacy has positive and significant effect on entrepreneurial intention. The next one is subjective norm to entrepreneurial intention. May et al. 2015 state that subjective norms has a positive and significant effect on entrepreneurial intention. Shah et al. 2020 stated that subjective norm has a positive and significant effect on entrepreneurial intention. Next one is Leros 2017 state that subjective norms do not have positive and significant effect on entrepreneurial intention. Last one is Al-Shamari 2018 stated that subjective norms have a moderate and significant positive effect on entrepreneurial intention. Next is research instrument of self-efficacy. In conceptual definition, self-efficacy is belief that an individual has on his ability to carry out a behavior or complete work to achieve certain goals. And for operational definition, to start and run a business is easy for me. I'm ready to start a valuable business. I have control in running my business as an entrepreneur, and I know what it takes to start a business. I know how to build a business, and I will succeed if I try to start a business. And for original indicator and adaptation indicator, you can see in the table. Next is research instrument of subjective norms. The conceptual definition. Subjective norms are individual perceptions that are influenced by another person's better belief to do or not to perform a behavior. And operational definitions are: my closest family thinks that I should be an entrepreneur. My closest friends think that I should be an entrepreneur. The most important person for me thinks that I should be an entrepreneur. The role of entrepreneur in the economy is generally respected in my country. The culture in my country is very supportive of entrepreneurial activities. And for the original indicator and adaptational indicator, you can see in the table. And next one is research instruments of entrepreneurial intention. The conceptual definition: entrepreneurial intention is a conscious desire that a person has to create a new business or start entrepreneurship. In operational definition, I'm ready to do anything to start my own business. My professional goal is to start my own business. I will do my best to start and run my own business company. I'm determined to make a business in the future. I'm very serious thinking about starting a business and etc. And for original indicator and adaptation indicator, you can see at the table. Chapter 3: Research Method. For research place, this research was conducted in the Jabodetabek area using online survey media with the target of community respondents who have an interest in entrepreneurship who live around the Jabodetabek area. And for population, the population in the study were all Jabodetabek communities. And for sample, the sample in the study is people who have an interest in entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial intention who live around the Jabodetabek area. Next type of data use. Primary data is in the form of online questionnaires via Google Form with a choice of type 6 Likert scale model to test the instrument. And for sampling technique, the data collection techniques from this research using pervasive sampling techniques. And for the data analysis technique, the data analysis technique used in this study using simple linear regression by testing the validity and reliability using SPSS version 22. Okay, that's my presentation regarding research proposal. And thanks for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.